Hi there, my name is Mr. Curtis, and this is Bruce. Today, what we're going to be doing is some sculpture. That's right, today we're going to be sculpting. We're going to be making our own air-dry clay, and then we'll be making some miniature sculptures using that clay. So, I don't think there's anything else I have to tell you. Let's get started. Ready to start, Bruce? Okay, I'm going to help you down. Okay, and Bruce is going to go off to his own sculpting station, and I'll show you how you can make your own air-dry clay. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to make our own clay today, and these are the ingredients you're going to need. This is the basic ingredients. Well, these are the ingredients. This is a mixing bowl. This is what you're going to use to mix your ingredients together to make your own air-dry clay. So, cornstarch and white glue. That's it. That's all you need. There's a couple other things that are optional that you can add, but if all you have is cornstarch and glue, that's going to work for you, okay? So, very simple. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio. That means you'll need twice as much cornstarch as you need glue. So I've already got a bit of a head start here, and I've poured my glue into this measuring cup, and I've got about 1/2 a cup here of glue. I'm going to plop that into my container here. Use this spatula here to get all that lovely glue out of my measuring cup. Make sure you're washing these measuring cups really good afterwards if they are measuring cups you're using for cooking. You don't want to have glue in your cookies or something else that you're making. Okay, there we go. Our 1/2 a cup of glue is in there. And next we're going to add in our cornstarch. Okay, so put that bottle over there. And we're going to get our cornstarch here. Brand new cornstarch. Cornstarch is very powdery, so you want to be careful. Ooh, there we go. How exciting. Very powdery cornstarch. Okay, I'm going to do about a full cup of cornstarch here. Let's see. There we go. Something like that. Okay, put that aside. And you need something to stir with. I'm going to use just this chopstick here. I find that's a good tool for stirring, but you can use anything else that you'd like. I'm going to do just a little at a time here because I don't want to add too much cornstarch, because I've used up all my glue. So you can also add the glue to the cornstarch. It doesn't have to go this way, and actually it might be a little bit easier to do it the other way around, adding the glue to the cornstarch rather than the cornstarch to the glue. Okay, and just very carefully mix and mix and mix. Keep on mixing. At some point it's going to be hard to mix with your stick or whatever you're using for a mixing tool, and you're going to have to get in there with your fingers, and you're going to have to start mixing things around. Okay. Oh, look at that. Good thing I didn't add. Oh yeah, there we go. Oops. Okay, well, maybe I got the ratios wrong. That's starting to look pretty good. Pretty sticky. Okay, let's add some more cornstarch. Oops. It's going to get a little messy. Okay, I'm going to start adding in my other ingredients. The other things you can add are vinegar. I've got a big container of vinegar because that's all I've got. And the vinegar is just going to help preserve your mixture. You don't need very much, just a little splash of vinegar. That's just so that it doesn't mold, that kind of thing, so it lasts longer. And we've got a little bit of oil here, cooking oil. This is just canola oil, but you can use any kind of oil, or baby oil even works. So I'm just going to put a little drop of that in there, maybe about a teaspoon or so, maybe even less. And that's going to help just make it a nice silky texture. The oil helps with the texture. Okay, now that we've got a little more liquid in there, a little harder to stir. It's still pretty sticky, so we're going to add some more cornstarch. There we go. Okay, now it's starting to come together. It's starting to feel like it could be clay. I might have to get in there with my hands pretty soon. You can mix it right in the bowl until it's still a bit sticky. Add a little more cornstarch. Find that you've added just a little too much cornstarch, then you can put in a little more oil. There we go. So you can mix it until it's not sticky anymore. It's still a little sticky, so I've got some cornstarch in the bottom of my bowl. I'm just gonna grab some of that, mix it in. A little bit more. Okay, we're well on our way. Okay. Starting to feel like clay. So I'm going to keep mixing this up until it feels like it's about the right consistency. It should be pretty elastic and not tearing too much when I pull it like that. That's got a nice elastic texture there. Now that's looking good. Okay. So, what are we going to make with this clay? Well, we're going to use a little portion of this clay today to make a very small sculpture, just so we can practice with this clay and see how it behaves. We're going to make a tiny sculpture. That's the challenge today, is to make a tiny sculpture. And then we're going to use the rest of what you've made for another project next week. We're going to start on a project involving air dry clay, and that's starting next week. Okay, so now the last thing I want to show you with this clay. Oh yeah, this is starting to feel good. It's still a little sticky, so I'm going to add a little more corn flour, a little more cornstarch here. Okay. Just keep on working with it until it's not too sticky and it feels like clay. It's something that you can sculpt with. Okay, almost there. Yeah. Okay. Still a little sticky. Okay, after all that mixing and kneading, you should end up with something about like this, a little blob that will sit comfortably in your hand like that. And it might be slightly sticky, it might crack a little bit like that if you pull it open, but if you gently tap that down, then it goes back to it's easily smoothed out. So it's a different sort of clay. It's different than the regular buff stone clay that we use in class, but you can still sculpt with it, and you can actually do some pretty good details with it as well. So what I'm going to do now, or what we should do, is we're not going to use this whole piece of clay for today's project. We're just going to take a little piece, so about a piece about the size of your thumb, okay? That's all we're using today. The rest we're going to save for another project. So what I'm going to do is set that aside, and this piece I'm going to wrap it up. If you've got some cling wrap, this would work very well for wrapping it up because you don't want it to dry out. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up nicely in this cling wrap here, and just to make sure that it's extra taken care of and it's not going to dry out on us, we're going to put it in a plastic bag. Okay, so it's all ready for our next project. So I'm going to zip that up and put that aside for the next project, and then we're going to get started. But first, we need some inspiration for our tiny sculptures. Right now at the Winnipeg Art Gallery there is an exhibit called Small Worlds, and these are very small sculptures made by Inuit artists from up north. And these are little sculptures that are carved out of things like bone and stone, and they are very small. So these little sculptures are smaller than your thumb. In some cases they're very, very tiny, even smaller than that. The artists who made these sculptures are using the things around them as inspiration. So the birds, the animals that they see, their lifestyles and traditions play a role in their inspiration. So things that they do every day. You can use the things that you do and the things that you see every day to inspire you as well. The materials that you'll need for this project are a piece of cardboard, some water, and some kind of a tool that you can use to make small details. I have a wooden skewer here, but you could use a toothpick or even a pin or a paper clip or something very small and pokey that you can use to make your details on your sculpture. So the first thing I'm doing is taking a little piece off because I'm going to use that for a detail that I'm going to add on later. This clay I find is very, very soft, so it's a little bit hard to work on just while holding it in your hands. It's not as stiff as regular clay, so it's very soft. So that's why there's the flat piece of cardboard. You can rest your clay on that cardboard and you can build your sculpture up while it's sitting on the cardboard. So your piece is going to have a flat side to it somewhere on it. There's several different ways to get the details in your sculpture. One is by adding on. So I took that little piece off earlier. I'm going to add that piece on to make a detail. But there's also pinching out. So that's where you're pinching with your fingers areas out to make areas rise up. And then you can make those areas, you can sculpt them into a shape. And I'm making here a nose on my face. The water is here so that if you want to attach clay to clay, you can take a little piece off, and I'm making the ears here. What you can do is use the water to activate that glue again inside of your clay, and then that'll help it to stick onto your clay. And you can even blend the clay together afterwards with your tool to help give it a smooth transition in that seam. Whatever you do, I encourage you for this project, just keep it relatively simple. We're just getting a feel for the clay today, so make something very simple. Don't try to get too detailed. Just get a feel for it and try some different things. I'm making a very, very simple object here, very simple shape. It's a face. Some artists have used this clay to make things like earrings or pendants and things like that. So that could be a final use for the sculpture that you make today as well. You could easily make it into a piece of jewelry if you want. And there you go, your own little sculpture to populate your own miniature small world using clay that you made yourself. I wonder how you did. I'd love to see some of your creations that you came up with. And I bet you're a little bit interested to know what we're going to make next week using the leftover clay that we saved. I'm going to keep it a secret. But in the meantime, I wonder how Bruce did with his miniature sculpture. Let's have a look. Hey Bruce, how's your sculpture? Wow, look at the amount of detail on that. It's so tiny. Look at that. It's a, is that a caribou or a... Whoa! Oh, so sorry, Bruce. I dropped it. Well, hopefully we can find it. Until next time, keep thinking creatively and be kind to yourself. Sorry, Bruce.